Testing, testing, testing. Hi there, guys. My name is Rohan Vivek, and today we're going to be talking about what is kinematics. Kinematics. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about what is kinematics. So what is it? Well, the thing is, there's basically something called mechanics. Okay, and mechanics can branch out into two versions of itself: dynamics and kinematics. Today we're going to only be talking about kinematics. So what is it? Basically, it is a branch of mechanics which deal with equations that basically describes the motion of an object without external force. Okay? So let's see these equations. Here's Formula 1, okay? Formula 2, Formula 3, and Formula 4, okay? So here we have all these four equations. Now let's see some problems so that way we can understand each one of them, okay? So for the first one is about horizontal motion. So there's this car. It goes from place 1 to place B, okay? Place A to place B, okay? And it starts from initial velocity from 0, and the time it takes to get to the other side is 5.21 seconds, and the distance it traveled is 110 meters. Okay, so we have to determine the area, not the area, the acceleration of the car. So what is it? So the best formula we have to use for this is Formula 1. So we input the values all in here into the formula, and it will give us that the acceleration of the car is 8.10 meters per second squared, okay? So that's problem 1 solved. Let's look at problem 2, which is about vertical motion, okay? Let's say you are falling off of a free fall machine, okay? One of those attractions at, let's say, Wonderlaw, for example. Not Wonderlaw, something like that, some random amusement park, okay? The time it takes to get down to the bottom is 2.60 seconds, okay? And the initial velocity is 0. And due to gravity, right, the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. So we have to determine, okay, what is the final velocity, okay, and how much do we travel? So what is the distance? So how do we solve these? The first formula we have to use is Formula 3. We input the values that we know here, and this will give us, so that means the final velocity equals to 25.48 meters per second, okay? Now that we have all these values, we can now use Formula 4 to calculate the distance. We input the values in, and the distance is equal to 33.212 meters. Okay, so that's question 2 solved. Question 3 is about projectile motion. Let's say you kick a ball, okay, and the initial velocity is at 25 meters per second, and we hit the ball at a 45-degree angle, okay? So what our main goal is basically how long it was the time of flight, the horizontal displacement, and what was the peak height of the ball. We have to solve all of these, okay? So let's first, since because of this, there are two components we have to use for the initial velocity, x and y. So these we can calculate into both of them being 17.68, not 68, 68 meters per second, okay? Now that we have those, okay, and due to the final velocity, of course, will be 0 meters per second, right? And again, the acceleration is due to gravity. It equals to 9.8 meters per second squared, negative, okay? So now that we have all of these, now let's first determine the time of flight. So it's best. So the best formula to use is formula 3. So we input the known values, and this gives us 1.804 45. Okay, so this gives us this. Okay, no, 1.804 seconds. Sorry. But in order to get the time of flight fully, we just have to multiply it by 2, and this gives us 3.61 seconds. Okay, that's the time of flight. So we completed that. The next is the horizontal displacement. We just have to use formula 4. So we input all the values, and this gives us, okay, this gives us 63.82 meters. Now to determine the peak of the height of the ball, we have to use, again, formula 4. But since this is at the peak and not full motion, that means we have to use the initial value instead of it times 2. We just have to use this. We input all the values, and this gives us the peak height of the ball being 15.95 meters. And that's basically that answers the third part of this question, and that's basically what kinematics is. And that's basically it. Thank you for watching this video, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.